On July 6th, LBRY from the Mobian team announced that you can now take photos on Mobian thanks to some kernel patches made by Macleod. You have been able to do this for a while, although it was not a fun time. You would either have to be forced to use something like v4l2 or do some weird multimedia CTL FMMPEG command line stuff that I don't understand. But now, taking a photo with the PinePhone is very easy thanks to Mobian. Photos can now be taken using an experimental build of GNOME Camera, and the experience is, okay. The forum post says that you can just update the current build of Mobian and install GNOME Camera, but that didn't work to me. Instead, I had to flash the newest nightly build of Mobian, and then it worked like a charm. Now, before you run towards your shelf or drawer, grab your PinePhone and flash Mobian, keep in mind that this is still very experimental and is basically a glorified tech demo at its current state. The camera app has a decent UI, but the image preview runs at a very smooth 1 frame per second. Because of this, taking photos is very hard. For an image preview, I think I'd rather have a low quality 480p or maybe even 144p preview shot thing at 24 fps than a 720p preview at 1 fps, because then it would be a lot easier to actually take your image when your camera isn't only displaying 1 frame per second. And then of course the actual photo could be a 720p shot, but the preview would be at a constant frame rate to make taking the shot easier. The photo quality is okay. It's definitely not something to write home about. I'm not a camera expert, but even I can tell that most of the photos are very blurry, low in dynamic range, and most of the photos have a lot of noise. However, considering the PinePhone's price point at sub $150, it's not that bad. If you look at photos from sub $100 Android phones like the Nokia 1.3 or the Alcatel 1X, these photos are slightly better than the PinePhone, but not by a lot. And that's impressive considering that all of the software for the PinePhone is community made, and Pine64 doesn't have the same resources as Alcatel and Nokia have. Plus, I don't even think that the software has any post-processing yet, although I might be wrong about that, but I don't think it does, which means that maybe in the future, if we have post-processing, we could get it on par with the Nokia 1.3 and Alcatel 1X. So, while the photos aren't that bad, I still wouldn't recommend anyone to buy a PinePhone just to take photos. Anyways, I know this was a pretty short video, but whatever. Thanks for watching this video. Please tip me on LBRY, and thanks to the person who gave me a 1000 LBC tip yesterday. And also thanks to Ashton Snap, Carl Schneider, Jonathan Reynolds, Jim Peter, Sam Covett, and Michelle Vantino for becoming patrons on Patreon. Become a patron below with the link. Bye.